Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to Morning Tea with me, Tracy V. Allen, host of Morning Tea. This is my first time going live over here on Instagram, but we're always live on Facebook and YouTube at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. So today, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, okay? Because sharing is caring, so share this out. Today, I have with me my friend and the one and only Mommy Slay. So I had to slay today because I can't be upstanding now by my guest because I know she's coming to slay. Right? So Yondel is here with me today, and we're going to talk about how moms can slay all day, every day, as mothers, as entrepreneurs, as just women in society, because you don't have to be a mom to slay. You could just be an aunt or grandma right now, and still you got to show up and slay every day. So Yondel, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So tell us about Yondel. Who is Yondel and how did Yondel become Mommy Slays?
So, Yondel is a multi-passionpreneur. I'm an educator. I'm a creative. I've always been a creative since I was in elementary school. And that's something that has always stayed with me. And I'm an entrepreneur. A lot of people know me as Queens of Wigs, the wig teacher for designing custom wigs. That's how it all started. But also, I'm a mother and a wife. So there's a lot of levels to Yondel, and I had to throw it all in to Mommy Slays.
Right. It's like an onion. She has layers. Right.
Yeah, a lot. Yep. And you cry with me sometimes. I cry, all of that.
Right.
And add the flavor.
So Yondel and I met. How old is Kendall?
Kendall is 6. He just turned 6. Oh my God.
So 6 years ago. That's how I know how long we've met, because I became her substitute when she had to go out on maternity leave at a job, right? For a GED program. So we've known each other for 6 years now, and we developed a friendship along the way, and I've watched her business just absolutely blossom. I've watched her start several businesses too, so we're going to talk about all of that. So I remember the first time I met Yondel, she had this wig on, and I was not sure if it was a wig because it looked so realistic. Right. So I had to ask that when someone left the room. We were in the room, it was 3 of us in the room, and when that person left, I said to her, "Is that a wig?" And she laughed, right? And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That part is so realistic. Like, what? Who made your wig?" And then she was like, "I did." I was like, "You make wigs?" And she was like, "Yeah." So she started telling me about her wig journey. So tell us about that. How did you become the queen of wigs?
So, okay, let me go back. So in 2008, the year I graduated college, do you guys remember the Tyra Banks show? Like
Yeah.
every day in the afternoon after class, I would rush to my dorm to watch it. And she like let the bag out on wigs. She let the secret out because lace wigs were a huge secret. It was the celebrity's best secret, and she spilled the tea. Okay. I wanted one, but they were like in the thousands at the time. And being Yondel that I am, I'm like, you know what? I can't buy this wig, but I'm gonna learn how to make this wig. So, which was crazy because the process to make a lace wig is very technical. Like you have to pull the hair strand by strand. It's called ventilation through the lace. But I learned. And what happened was that I was a December graduate. So I graduated in December of 2008. And if you guys remember, that is when Obama was coming in office and we were going through a recession. So I did not get a job right away. So all I had was this skill to figure it out. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make wigs for people. And a lot of people kept telling me, "Oh, well, you can make it for cancer patients. That's going to be your niche." And that's what I thought would have been my niche. And that actually did not happen to be my niche. My niche was dealing with women with alopecia, which I didn't know anything about until I opened this business and women started reaching out to me, wanting a customized wig. So that's how it all started. And then I threw the teaching component into it. There goes the layers. And I started teaching people how to make the wigs as well. And eventually came out, I think when I met you, or right after I met you, after I had Kendall, I came out with the Wig Making Made Easy DVD. So that's how it all started. It started with me being selfish, trying to do it for myself, and then eventually making it for other people and helping other people.
Okay, awesome. So you did the wigs for some years, right?
Yeah.
Maybe what about 8 years? 9?
Yeah. I want to say about 9 years, because when Cairo was born, that's when I switched out from doing the wigs.
Right, because you were like, okay, now I have 2 kids. It's a lot to make one wig. So let me transition into something else. So tell us about that transition.
So wig making will always be my passion. Like I always like wigs, right? And Tracy, we had that conversation and she let me know, what? You're closing your wig business? You're gonna always be the Queens of Wigs. Like, you built that business, girl. So I will always be the Queens of Wigs. But when I had Cairo, just like you said, it was not taking care of one baby. It was now taking care of 2 babies, and trying to be this work from home mom. But before I had Cairo, I used to do Periscope back in the day. And I used to do little mini sessions when baby plays, mommy slays, because with Kendall, I had to find ways to still run my business. So we would be outside, he would be playing in the yard, and I would be shooting a video. And I'm like, oh, I always want to do a blog. And so when I had Cairo, I was unemployed at the time. I got laid off at 7 months pregnant. So I'm like, this is going to be time to really run your business full time. But what a lot of people don't know, that being a stay-at-home mom is like a whole job. And I was thinking, oh, I could do this. I'm a teacher. I run classes with 25 students. I got this. I run 7th graders. I can take care of my own 2 kids. And it was not easy. It was not an easy transition for me. My husband works a lot. He works nights. And since I was at home, he was doing 2 jobs. So sometimes he was pulling 20-hour shifts. So it was just me and the kids. So I decided to start this blog, and I wanted to be authentic. And what happened at the time is that I was diagnosed with postpartum depression. And I'm like, why are people, when I would share it with people like, oh, I went through that too. And I'm like, why do we as women keep all this stuff to ourselves? So I'm like, you know what? It's time to start my platform where it's going to be authentic, and I'm just going to be real. And I felt like I couldn't do that in Queens of Wigs. Something that I did well with Queens of Wigs, I built a service-based brand, but it was all about wigs. So I didn't know how to throw in the mom component and showing the other layers. So I was like, okay, it's time to show people mommy slaves. It's time to connect with other moms and build a safe network.
Yes. Yeah. I totally get it. Because that's one of the reasons for me doing this show, because everybody niched me in to just nonprofit. I'm more, that I am way more than just a nonprofit person, right? I have tons of layers too. So I wanted to be able to show some of my layers, connect with people on a different level, let them see me in a different light. And so I was like, okay, so I started, podcasting, and then now this, and I'm thinking that people are getting to see a whole picture of who I am. I can be goofy, I can be, whatever at some times, but I am more than just this one person that you know me as, right? So I totally get it. So
right when Cairo was born, right when I was diagnosed, I remember that week I got diagnosed with postpartum depression. I started writing my blog, because I'm like, I'm going to be the one to share my story. We read all these news articles, and I was scared. And I was like, you know what? Y'all going to hear my story from me through my blog.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I know that also transitioned you into actually finishing a book that you had started prior to Kendall being born. You actually finished it along that journey. Tell us about that book and that story.
Yeah, I launched my ebook. I actually published it. It's called Painful Pills. And it's
Mm-hmm.
about my journey through to motherhood, which was not an easy journey.
Mm-hmm.
And another reason why I launched Mommy Slays, like I've dealt with two miscarriages. Both Kendall and Cairo are rainbow babies.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a miscarriage before Kendall and a miscarriage after Kendall. And
Mm-hmm.
I realized that that's another thing a lot of us do not talk about. So I launched that. It was very therapeutic to release the story because it helped a lot of women.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
totally get it because we've had that discussion, and I talked about losing my baby and them finding out I had a whole bunch of women around me that I've known for years, and
Yeah.
they've had miscarriages or they had stillbirths, and they weren't talking about it. They felt that it was not their place. No one wanted to hear their story. So they carried this pain and this burden with them for like ever. And when I started talking about it, some of them were actually mad because they were like, oh, you need to wear your pain internally. You shouldn't be talking about it
Mhm.
constantly. And I'm like, no, I'm grieving. I'm in pain. I'm going to talk
Right.
about this because I
And
was in
that pain
therapy.
will
And that's
kill
one of the
you.
things. Yeah. One of the things the doctor was like, talk about it, you know?
Mhm.
I'm like, but nobody wants to hear this, you know? But
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
did bring some healing to some people because they were able to cry through it. And that was like their first real cry about
Mm.
actually losing a child. So
Right.
I totally get it. Yes. Putting out that book, telling your own story. You know, if something had happened, you don't want people to speculate on
Right.
what happened with Yondel. Let you tell your own story. So you started
Exactly.
that way. And then what happened? How did it evolve to what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I started it that way, and I think the way what really led me to actually launch the book, Tracy, was I wrote an article in Exo Nicole
Oh,
on what
yes.
not to say to a woman who has just miscarried. And the
Mhm,
amount of people that reached out to me, I'm like, okay, it's time to drop the book. And
mhm,
so I started it and I would blog, and I had that feeling, though I don't want to say that people told me not to share my story, but culturally, it's the norm. I'm
mhm.
Guyanese. Well, I'm not Guyanese. My parents will cuss me out. My parents are Guyanese. Okay. But culturally, it's just something you don't talk about. So I went ahead, I published the book,
Mhm,
and I continued blogging. But I added back in the beauty component
mhm,
on how to slave through it, because that's actually how I actually did get through my postpartum depression. I
mhm,
learned that you have to get up some days, with those days where you don't look recognizable, and
mhm.
pop on the lipstick, draw on my eyebrows, put on my wig. Like, it made a difference. And at the time, you met Yondel, who was wearing these virgin hair wigs.
Mhm.
And through Mommy Slays, Yondel had to learn how to slay the synthetic wigs because I couldn't afford the virgin hair wigs anymore. I
Okay.
didn't have my teaching salary to rely on.
Mhm,
So it
mm,
was survival mode. And I'm like, I know that there are other women that are in this position where they want to look like they're rocking that virgin hair, but
right.
they can't get it right now.
Mhm,
So I started doing that. I started talking about the beauty component, but the biggest thing that changed it, Tracy, when the aha moment, because I didn't really know where Mommy Slaves was going to go. I just thought it was going to be a blog, and that was
okay.
it. It was more of a passion project. I didn't expect to really profit from it,
Oh,
and
okay.
so I started sharing my beauty tips. But the biggest thing is when I started the Slay Challenge.
Mhm,
I woke up one day and I had been wearing the same pajamas all day, every day for probably 3 days. I didn't look recognizable to myself. And I was like, you know what? I need to do a Slay Challenge. I need to do this for myself. And I did a little story. What is it called? Where you ask the questions in Instagram, the poll. I did a
yes.
poll and I asked people, I was like, would you be interested in joining a Slay Challenge? And I explained it like a
Mhm,
5-day challenge where we will just slay for a whole week.
mhm,
And a lot of people were like, yes. And I got this one random person that I
mhm,
don't really know that said no. And
mhm.
the Leo in Yondel was like, oh, I'm doing the Slay Challenge just because she said no. Okay. So I went ahead and did it. And it was transforming, not only for me, but we were in a small group. We did giveaways. Like one day was Lippy Day, one day was accessory day.
Right. I remember it.
And people had so much fun, and it turned into an annual thing. We just finished the third
one,
challenge. Yeah. So that's when that shift happened.
Okay. So I want to go back to something that you said. You talked about being in the same pajamas for days, right?
Yeah.
So I want people to know, if that is happening to you, you need to seek help, because that is the first sign that you're depressed.
Yep.
It is the first sign that you are depressed. If you don't want to do normal everyday self-care, and especially if you're a person who, loves to take care of yourself, and then you find that there's a period of time where you just don't want to get up, you don't want to bathe, you don't want to brush your teeth, you don't want to put on your face, your wig, you don't want to even change the clothes you're in, it's the first sign of depression, and you need to seek help. And it seems to be a running theme. I've had quite a few women on here who have talked about, going through depression. Now, all the symptoms kind of sound the same. And I know that's how I figured out when I was going through depression, when I was sick and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I was like, wait, I haven't bathed in how many days now? You know what I mean? And I was like, I haven't changed. Wait, what is going on? And that, you just have to start getting help, whether you're going to help yourself through it. You have the mental capacity to be like, okay, you recognize that you're in a depressive state and you're like, okay, I got to fight through this. I got to do what I need to do. Like you did, you turned it around by starting to, do what made you happy to begin with, putting on your face, putting on your hair, accessories, just walking around the house like you're Mariah Carey. Walking around the house slaying like you're Mariah Carey, because we all know she's in her lingeries and whatever. She's like, and we know she suffers from depression too. So that's probably how she keeps herself together. So ladies, definitely slay through it. Do what you have to do. And I mean, if you're going through depression, find a circle. Yondel has the Slay Squad, where you can go in and you can talk freely to other women who are probably going through something similar to you. We're never going through these types of things ourselves. We may think we are, but we're not the only people. Trust and believe that. So go ahead, Yondel. I just had to make that point because I thought it was such a pivotal, turnaround when you said that and you realized that, hey, wait a minute, I've been in the same pajamas for 2 days. What is going on?
And I'm glad you brought it up and you mentioned therapy, because especially as being a Black woman, like therapy has such a stigma around it. And we have to change the narrative, because therapy has helped me significantly in my life. I know that you mentioned you had to go to therapy too. Yes. I remember after the first miscarriage, I had to talk to a grieving counselor. Right now I'm in therapy, and I just want to say to anybody watching live or watching the replay, please, if you feel like you need a therapist, I'm gonna stress what Tracy just said. There are good therapists out there.
Yes.
First time around with the grieving counselor, guys, I got lucky. The first time was a hit. But the second time around with the postpartum depression, while I really had to slay through it, I did not find a therapist right away. Who my doctor recommended me to, they never called me back.
Wow.
So, the stubborn side of me was like, okay, they never called me back. I'm gonna have to figure this out on my own. But I don't want people to feel that way. So it wasn't until like a year after I was diagnosed with postpartum that I found not even a year, like almost 2 years. That I found a good therapist. And I just
want to make a shameless plug for a friend of mine who's a therapist. Her name is Dr. Jackie Evans Phillips, and she's the owner of Life Changes Institute right here in Hartford. So if you are living in the Hartford area and you need a therapist, she has certified therapists on staff, and they can help you. They have group therapy and individual therapy. Reach out to her. I'll try to put her information in the comment section below of the post, either on Instagram or on Facebook. But definitely reach out to somebody, please. I was in therapy for like 4 months after my daughter passed away, because I was just not equipped to deal with that type of pain. I was not. I mean, I was, I'm considered the strong person. Everybody looks to me for that support. Like I'm the shoulder for everybody to be on. But that was the one thing that broke me. I didn't know how to deal.
Yeah.
I just did not know how to deal with it. And I went to my doctor. I spoke to some friends, and they were like, you might need to see a therapist. But
Yeah.
in therapy, I dealt with more than the loss of my baby. I had to deal with me holistically. Like you go all the way back to childhood and start dealing with some stuff that you don't even think bothers you, that actually does. So and that's why we have broken adults. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like the word broken, but that's why we have adults with issues, because you're not dealing with yourself holistically from beginning to end.
Right.
And I mean, this to all be about therapy, but it's a big part of Yondel's
it is, because I'm still in therapy.
Journey. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it has been a part of my journey as well.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And it can be a part of anybody's journey that is watching, because it works.
Yeah, definitely. And we, like you said, we need to destigmatize therapy in our community. So, okay. So we launched the book. We pivoted from being the Queen of Wigs, which I was like, no, we're going to keep that Queen of Wigs in there because it is who you are. And now what are we doing?
So now we are showing, speaking of how we just talked about like healing the inner child, I'm showing you that side of me. So when I think of Mommy Slays, I think of the Savage remix, because I'm classy, I could be bougie, I could be ratchet, and I could be sassy. Like I'm all of that. So
layers.
Exactly. There's levels to this. So we launched an accessory line. And it really came by default. And that's one thing in business, when slaying your business, Tracy, you have a plan. You should have a strategic plan, but the plan changes. The plan changes. And you just have to go with the flow. And that's what I'm learning being a multi-passionpreneur. Like I can't leave aside that creativity part of me. It's just going to always follow me. So about a year ago, I was getting ready to be a speaker at an event for the Woman Within You, their annual event. And as you know, I needed shirts. And I didn't have shirts. And I was working at a job that did not pay me on time. There was some glitch. And I couldn't get my shirts, or I thought I couldn't get my shirts. So I had to get creative. And I was talking to Tracy, and she's like, well, what you gonna sell? Where are your planners? Because I have the everyday slave planner. She's like, what you gonna do? So I was like, she's like, bring your planners. And I'm like, okay, the planners are okay. But it's May, and everybody not think about planners in May. You should always be planning. So I had these earrings like that. I put sayings on it, slay through it. Beyonce, Cardi B, Sierra, and me. And I just sat, Tracy, and these earrings, y'all, I made out of paper. Right. And so I just sat and I made, I think, like 30 pairs of earrings one night. And we did end up getting the shirts, but I made the 30 pair of the earrings, and the earrings were a movement. Like people were buying the slay through it. And I did eventually get the t-shirts, y'all. I got the t-shirts. But the slay through it t-shirts they were selling, and it was a movement because it aligned with my story that you have to slay through it. And that was part of my story. No matter what, you need to keep pushing yourself. Like, do not, when we feel defeated, that's when we have to go harder. We have to slay harder. So we started the launch of the accessory line, and today we are continuing it. We've added bracelets to it. We still have our signature paper earrings, but we've really evolved and grown a lot. We just launched one of like our candy lines where it's all about being the inner child, being your authentic self. I feel like if Cardi B can get paid to be herself, Yondel Alicia Benjamin Gilfurt is going to get paid to be herself. There's going to be all authenticity over here, like no sugarcoating anything.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Because Cardi B is getting paid to be herself. Okay, all her flaws and everything, And people still love her. They still support her. So why shouldn't we? I think as business people outside of the entertainment business, we tend to want to mask who our true selves are. So if you talk in Ebonics, sometimes you're always out here trying to speak standard English and trying to sound less than trying to sound at a higher level than you really are. Or I shouldn't say that, but, trying to sound like someone who you're not. Right, right. So being authentic to who you truly are, people fall in love with that. That's who people want to see. People don't want to see the show that you're putting on. They want to see all of you, flaws and all, because the worst thing I think that can happen is if you come on here and you are a certain weight on here, like you're all like, and you have your pearls on and whatever. Yeah. And then I see you in the supermarket and you looking ratchet. Show me that you can be both people at the same time. Okay. I would prefer that.
Yes, because disclaimer, mommy slay does not always slay on the outside. I don't always have my eyebrows
and that way, Yondel. That's the thing. We have seen you that when you've shown us with your braids or your hair out, or you're in the car and you got your headscarf on, and you have shown us that side of you. So we're not expecting to see you looking like this, right, every day. So that is a big part of who you are as your brand. You're holistic. You're showing people that, you're circular. You have different facets to you. This is not what you're going to see every day. I'm not going to be fully made up. So I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a teacher, I'm a, whatever it is. So yeah. So what else? So tell us, we never got to what a multi-passionate-preneur is. Give us the definition. I mean, I know what it is, but let the audience know, what is a multi-passionate-preneur?
So I feel like it's what we've been talking about all the time. Somebody that has layers, that they have more than one business. They do more than one avenue, like how Tracy has her nonprofit business. She had her podcast. Now she has the morning tea. Like you show different levels. And the thing that clicked to me, because I struggled with this too as mommy slave. Like, as I said, I started a service-based business that was just all about wigs first. So when I transitioned, I'm like, am I telling too much? Am I not telling enough? How do I niche? Like, how do I find my tribe? It took me a while to figure that out. And one person, the way they broke it down to me, she's like, well, you can be Target, where people go into Target and they can get a variety of stuff, or you could be a niche brand where people like Barnes and Nobles, where people are just looking for books. So it's like, what? And then I thought about it, I'm like, whoa, I'm going to be the Target. Like, I'm going to have accessories. I'm going to sell my planners. I'm going to sell have these challenges, these programs, because Mommy Slaves is truly about helping women live a more fulfilled life and providing them with the resources that they need to do so, and feeling open to be able to do that. So that is what being a multi-passionpreneur is. It's like you are living out your passions. Without having regret, because a lot of us have more than one passion and we're told that we could only do one thing. So when growing up, I thought I was going to be a teacher. Like, I always knew I wanted to be a teacher or a lawyer. My parents were devastated when I said I wasn't going to do law. My father still was like, you got that English degree, you still could go to law school. Right. But I became a teacher, and people think, oh, that's your profession. You can only teach. And no, I can teach through my business. I'm a certified teacher. If I want to teach in the classroom, I can, but I don't have to. Being a multi-passionpreneur, you're not limited to one thing. A lot of people get stuck thinking they just have to do this one thing. And no, you don't. You can strategically do it all if you want to.
Right. And I love that, because I've talked about that here already, where we're told we can only do one thing. You should only do one thing in your business. If you can find a way to fuse the things that you're passionate about into one thing, right? You don't want to do a whole lot of different things. If you can find a way to make them all work cohesively together, you can do more than one thing. And like you, I was a certified teacher as well. And I literally thought the only thing I could do was teach English, right? I didn't realize how my English degree could take me to so many places, and how being able to effectively teach because there's a difference, people,
Yeah.
right? And to how being able to effectively teach was going to be such a pivotal point in my personal business, or all my businesses actually, because that's the one thing I stress, even in my nonprofit. I teach you how, you know what I mean? So it's about teaching, being able to disseminate information effectively so that someone else can take that information and then go ahead and implement it. And I see you doing that in all the different facets of what you do in Mommy Slays. Definitely. Yeah.
And I'm glad that you brought up teaching or our careers, because we have so many transferable skills that we can take other places. And a lot of women I deal with, they'll always be like, I can't do this because I don't have the skill. And it's like, you do have the skills, or it's so easy in this day and age to get the skills. CousinGoogle.com has a lot of information. YouTube University, there's courses, like there's no excuse in 2020 why you can't get the skill. But most of the time, the people, they have the transferable skills, but they're just fixated on that one thing. And like you said, part of being a good teacher is being authentic. When you're real with your students, that's when they respect you and they appreciate you.
Right. And that's the thing. I remember when I was teaching, a lot of my kids used to be like, oh, Miss Ellen, we really love you because you're so real. I was like, what is that? What is being so real? They're like, you just say what you gotta say and that's it. You know what I mean?
No nonsense.
If we're doing nonsense, you're gonna tell us we're doing nonsense. We need to stop doing this. Or you're just very, I guess what they wanted to say was I was authentic, but they used to say, oh, you're so real. Yeah. So tell us what specials or anything that you want people to know that you're promoting currently. And I'll flash up where they can go follow you on Instagram. So you can follow her on Instagram at Mommy Slays _ And then if you're looking for any of her products, you can go to the Slay Room at Zills.com. The Slayroom.zills.com.
Cells. Yep.
Cells.
The Slayroom.cells.com.
Cells.
I know, right? The English teacher, and you're like, yes, guys. So one more thing I want to quickly add, Tracy, about slaying my passion is finding your tribe. You don't need a big tribe. So finding your tribe really, really helps you to slay your passion. Whatever you do, your real tribe is going to ride or die with you. And I love my Slay Squad. So that's one place that you can find me on Facebook, our private group. It's the Slay Squad on Facebook. Right now, we are doing a promo where we do $10 Tuesdays, where we feature like 1 to 5 items from our accessory line. That's $10. And then we show you other items in the accessory line as well, and other price brackets. But people love $10 Tuesday. Like, if you like accessories, don't miss out on $10 Tuesdays, because the Slay Squad, they snatch the stuff up real quick. Also, if you do, I believe in sharing is caring. It's free to share someone's content. That's how you support somebody.
So please like and share.
Yes, so like and share. And when people share my videos, when I'm doing $10 Tuesday or anything, I send them a coupon. So if you share this video, I will send you a coupon throughout the day. I'll inbox you a special discount for just taking the time to share. It doesn't hurt to share. Somebody else might need this message.
Awesome. So what are the top 3 things that you want to leave our audience with today?
So the first thing that I want to leave with you is, and we didn't discuss it too much, but I want you to stop putting the snooze button on your dreams.
You can talk about it. We have time.
Okay, so stop putting the snooze button on your dreams. That's the first one. So this morning, when waking up to be here or get to work, I pressed the snooze button a couple of times, but I'm here. Tracy's here. We're here. We showed up. Just like you show up for your job, you show up on time. But for our dreams, we have this habit where we'll put a snooze button on it, and we don't go as hard for our dreams as we go for our jobs that we know can just be we can be replaced at a job quickly. It's happened to me several times via layoffs and whatnot. So please, that's tip number 1, to stop putting the snooze button on your dreams. tip number 2 is to be consistent, to be strategically consistent. I have seen it right before my eyes. I've seen it with Tracy. I've seen it with a lot of entrepreneurs. When they are consistent strategically, they are successful. You cannot give up on yourself. And I had to say strategically because you got to have a strategy behind that consistency. If you're consistently doing something that doesn't work for you, it's not going to work for you. So to be strategically consistent is very important. So make sure if you're in business, you know the difference between marketing and advertising. And that marketing has a lot to do with sharing your story, sharing your shame, which is part of Mommy Slay, slaying your way. That is what the marketing part has to do with. And tip number 3, guys, is to slay your mindset. A lot of people put a lot of effort into slaying that logo, slaying the website, or taking forever to get the website done. But your mindset has to be prepared and ready for entrepreneurship. It's not easy. It's rewarding, but you have to have a really strong mindset and a strong support system. You got to create one if you don't have one around you in order to be successful, in my personal opinion. So slaying the mindset comes before everything. Like that, you got to do the inner work.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Those, I love those. I absolutely like those. Those are things to live by. So take the snooze button off your dreams. What was the second one? I'm sorry.
So take the snooze button off your dreams and to strategically.
Be strategically consistent with your message, your marketing. But if it's not working, you need to switch it up. Okay, because you don't want to be strategically consistent doing something that's not working. And then slaying your mindset, because this is a powerful tool. Okay, it's a powerful tool, and it can keep you stuck or it can push you forward to get to where you need to get to. So I love those top 3 tips. And Yondel is the first person who's come on the show and is actually doing a giveaway. I've asked a lot of people, but I don't know. But anyways, so Yondel is doing a giveaway. So if you share this out, which sharing is caring, it will give me a lot more views. I will be happy for that. And Yondel will also give you a coupon for her Mommy Slays, or what? I'm sorry. I don't want to call it wrong. The Slay Room, right? So, and it's right here. So,
and I got one thing to add to that. I'll give away the first person that comments on this video. I'm going to give them a copy of the Everyday Slave Planner, our lifestyle planner.
We already had our first person comment here a long time ago.
So the first person that commented is going to get something. I will email them. I'll contact them and I'll confirm it with you first, Tracy, and then I will email them a digital copy of our lifestyle Everyday Slave Planner. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, Yondel, so much for joining me today and being my first guest on Instagram too, because we're live both Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I wanted to try to see how it would work on Instagram, and Yondel was down for it. So we're on Instagram live as well, and we'll see if we can continue to do this. Not everybody's set up for this, but we will try to continue to do this. Again, you can find Yondel on Instagram at Mommy Slays with an S at the end, _. It's on the screen. You can go to her store. It is the Slay Room at sales. The Slay Room .sales.com. SEL. I have to say for my podcasters. Okay. So it's slayroom.selz.com. Or you can join her on Facebook at the Slay Squad. So just type in the Slay Squad and you'll be able to find her there as well. Thank you again, Yondel, for being my guest today. And thank you for joining me for Morning Tea, everyone. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Have a great day. Oh, I love that cup.
Yes.
Where did you get that cup?
Hi, Anita. She's one of the Slay Squad sisters.
Okay.
Hi, Anita. I will send you her information. She makes these beautiful,
Well, Shanita
beautiful.
needs to be on here. So
Okay, I'll tell Ty. I'll send you her information.
yeah,
Ty, she's
tell her she needs
another.
to come
She's
on and tell us
another
about
creative
these cups.
I know, right? Okay,
They're
I'm gonna
so
tell her.
pretty. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.